What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you all having a wonderful day or night, whatever you tuning in, baby. And obviously, I am Brad. I am joined by my homie Jack. As always, we are the Nerds and Mike podcast. We and I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's why the first time I ever said "boy" for the first time. But I will say I'm not gonna lie, dude. My just to like describe how my day is, bro. Like literally, I to be honest, man, whenever I have a day off, like or whenever I'm like not doing shit all day, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, excuse me. I'm probably just chilling, drinking some Bud Light, and literally like I'll just like fucking watch like Family Guy or South Park all day, and that's just like I'll just get fucking have a couple, get drunk and just watch it. Like
Mhm.
those, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I think those shows like Family Guy, South Park, Simpsons, whatever, Rick and Morty, like those shows, bro. Like when, especially for South Park, Family Guy, like when your show has hit like 20 plus seasons, like you've achieved greatness in my opinion. No fucking question. You know
But
what I mean?
don't you don't like Family Guy though now, right? Though, like you I think you've.
But that does, but like that doesn't that I mean, yes, I don't like it, but that doesn't mean that it's not a legendary show by any means.
When would you
You know what
say
I
it
mean?
fell off though?
For me, bro, I mean, this is just my opinion, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe all my followers will disagree because I have ran into people who think that Family Guy actually is getting funnier with the more they go. But for me, bro, I would say it fell off around like season 13. Like from 1 to 13, you have never seen me laugh harder than when I watched those seasons, bro. It was incredible. Like literally some of the funniest shit ever. And now, but like now, what I would say, like I still have seen every episode and I'll still watch it. And there are parts that I'll laugh, but I don't know, dude. Like when they took Seth MacFarlane out from being the writer, a whole different game.
Yeah, because right, didn't he step down? But he's still a part of it. But it's just that he's just the actor now. He's not actually, at the
Yeah,
helm.
being a voice actor, I mean, dude, they could literally fucking they could get anybody to do the voice, but it's like, I mean, okay, I no disrespect to Seth MacFarlane, I love Seth. Not, I wouldn't say anybody get the voice, but like, it's a whole different thing doing the voice and then someone else write the jokes when you
Yeah,
know deep down Seth MacFarlane is a comedic genius and he should be writing those jokes from day one and never stop writing them till the end of whenever Family Guy wants to stop.
yeah. Well, I think he did it.
Going.
He stepped down because I think he just like wanted a break, right? And he was just like, okay, like I've kind of created like I think around that time, right? Probably around the 13th season is most likely when he also stepped down, right? Is when that started not getting as funny.
Right.
I think he probably was like, all right, this has gone on for 13 seasons. It was probably a lot longer than he thought.
Yes.
I know that he also had probably at that time the Cleveland Show and American Dad, right? So
And American Dad's still going.
yeah, that's right. So well, yeah.
The
So
Cleveland show literally was gone a long time ago.
yeah, well, because there's a lot of reasons probably why it was gone. So, but yeah, it
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think
I
it's
like it.
okay.
Yeah, okay. I haven't seen all of it, but I kind of fuck with the Cleveland show. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
Like
no,
it wasn't his best work by any means, but to say that it was like the most ass show ever, like I would say that.
I think
You know what
I think the
I
controversy was that it was like a white dude playing a black guy, and like it's already kind of like bad enough that you got him in like Family Guy being played by like.
Right.
So that was
But
like
you know what's so cool, man? Like I've literally talked to some of my black friends, and like that's literally they don't mind that because that's like literally the case for like most of like animated shows where like a black person would be voiced by a white person. You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah, or that it'll be vice versa. Like I get that, but I think
exactly
it's specifically Cleveland who's like the stereotypical embodiment of like
right.
everything that is a stereotype when it comes to a black person. I think that's probably the bigger issue. But yeah,
No,
no,
100%. I totally get
like
that.
he's a good side character for like jokes and stuff, or
Yeah,
maybe like, and also like in the group he's more of like the centered. Like he's actually not like crazy like most of them. Like he actually is like, wait a
yeah.
second, guys, like what the fuck, like, so that's
But
like,
he has had some funny moments. I'm not gonna lie. Like I remember I just watched an episode the other day, and This shit was so lit. He Cleveland, or that's not Cleveland. Quagmire was beginning to start stripping, and they turned out to be end up turning out to be a gigolo. Which for I'm you know any of y'all do not know, just Google that, man, if you don't know what it is. But but like anyway, he turned out to be a gigolo, and Cleveland, and he literally Quagmire's trying to hide it from Joe because obviously prostitution is illegal. So it's like and Joe's a cop, obviously. So it's like basically Quagmire tries to hide. He's like Quagmire stealing shot Cleveland stealing shot glasses, and like he has shot glasses all over his fucking shirt hiding him. He's like, I don't like drinking NyQuil out of them little cups.
What? Oh my god.
Oh, dude, like, and like another one, bro, that's so funny is like literally, I remember he was trying to, they go to a big like, condo that Quagmire just bought, and Peter's like, okay, when you introduce, like, just remember Quagmire, when you introduce us to the ladies by the pool, remember, I'm a millionaire, Joe's a war hero, and Cleveland is Magic Johnson. And like Cleveland's like, I own a lot of theaters. I hope you don't know much else about me.
Oh god, what the fuck?
Oh, bro, dude, I agree, man. He's a lit side character. I don't mind having Cleveland at all on there.
Yeah, I mean, again, and I think that's why it's better for him to be just in the show like that rather than having an entire show based around him. And it's like, you know, the bits there, the jokes there with him, where like he can either be really obscene or
Right.
really like, you know, very straight edge. But then again,
But
it's like,
right. But then again, like a lot of like that's the case with most like what is it you just called a spin-off. Yeah, spin-off.
yeah,
There's a lot of like there's most spin-offs are not that successful, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Never.
I
There's
mean,
very few that have worked out. Like this is kind of old, but like I've seen so many 90s sitcoms. Like Frasier was an incredible spin-off.
yeah,
Frasier definitely worked.
and that was
Frasier
a
was fire.
that was a spinoff from Cheers.
Uh,
Yeah, no, yeah. So I mean, there are ways to do it. I mean, I guess technically Curb is a spinoff from Seinfeld, but not really. But like,
no, I wouldn't. No, dude, because like Larry David was never on screen on Seinfeld, was he?
yeah, he was.
I don't
But
think so.
but it's
When?
like, yeah,
Was
he's
he really?
yeah, he has certain points where he's like he has a cameo either like himself or it's like his voice. Like he plays George's boss, like that you never see his face. Like he's the voice for him.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So,
there's
but like he's never like he's never like fully acting on screen.
no, I mean
Or is
he no, like I said, like he'll play random characters. Like he'll play
Okay.
like I know like one time he was like George's lawyer too or something that wore a cape and it was like some stupid shit like that. Like but I don't know. I think it is because they do have like a whole episode where they do like Seinfeld in the present and they do like a reunion episode and shit and they kind of
Okay.
like but yeah, I guess it isn't because it's focused more on like the creative aspect behind it and like who made it.
Right.
But again, I feel like they're just like because like in the show Seinfeld, it was like about their real lives and the stories that they kind of experienced, right?
Yeah.
So in a sense, it was pretty much like we were seeing like Jerry and Larry is basically what the reality would have been instead of Jerry
Right.
and George.
Right.
We'd have seen Jerry and Larry going through the same exact scenarios, but I guess like I just think of that, but like it's carried on through Curb,
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean for the most part, I don't know a whole lot about like legit sequels for shows at least. I don't know. I mean maybe
Dude,
like
it's
the
so,
NCISs or whatever, like all Law and Order,
I actually I can't say anything because I never watched either of those shows.
I just
To
know
be
that they
honest.
they just have constant. I just know that like there's always like Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, Law and Order,
Right, right.
homicide or like I don't know, criminal investigation. I don't know, fucking. But they do vary. I don't know if they're direct spin-offs, but and again, like yeah, this is like just like you. I've never really seen these shows. I just have seen the titles.
Yeah. I mean, I know they're obviously very famous shows. I mean, a lot of people love them, but I just have never seen NCIS or Law and Order, or like I never saw Grey's Anatomy or anything like that.
Mhm. Yeah, no, even Grey's Anatomy has like a spin-off show, I think. At least I know from what my
Is it
mom has told me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I mean, dude, they're like people love to like if they love a world or whatever like that you created in a sense, and if you can give them more of that like content, you know, it's almost like Marvel, but it's not obviously because Marvel is like comic books and shit. But it's just like
Right.
you get more of the story. It's more fleshed out, more like yeah, just overall more story. You understand more lore. Your understanding of the world is a lot more than it was when you only watch one show or whatever.
Hey, bro, I do have one question though, and this might literally totally this is a whole different switch of conversation, but that's what we're here for, right?
Dude.
I have a question. What was the best movie trilogy of all time?
Oh, the best movie trilogy of all time.
Now, my immediate reaction was because it's what I grew up watching was the OG Star Wars trilogy.
Okay, yeah.
You know, because it's like I don't want to count Star Wars as a whole. Obviously, all 9 movies. I mean, obviously it is a franchise, but when I think of the trilogy, you mainly like you're like, oh, the first 3 movies, like New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That's what I went to personally.
Although I think I don't know if you've seen it, but I do fuck with the Indiana Jones trilogy, bro. That shit, at least you get the
Really?
classic.
Are you excited for the new one coming out?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I think we've talked about this on your stream how they've like the fourth one was kind of like a joke to a lot of people. And like I think they've joked about it on South Park
oh,
about
the
like
Crystal Skull.
yeah. But yeah, just generally I think I'm excited and hopefully like it'll be like just as good as the one before the fourth one at least. I don't know. Cuz those ones were like the way that they did those movies and the way that they like filmed them. I don't know. They feel like a classic like action movie, but yet they're like they were made in the 80s or whatever the fuck, you know.
And it's like an adventure type of film.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a venture film, venture movie.
So I'm curious. So I mean, if you really don't enjoy it, that's fine. But I'm curious. So like, did you really like genuinely hate Crystal Skull?
I mean, I don't hate it per se, but it's like it doesn't hold up as
I didn't
well.
mind it, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up as well as the other ones, I think. Like it's okay and it again fits well into the whole like world of Indiana Jones and like you know, the way that they deal with Indiana Jones too in their like world, which is I think is kind of cool, is like they do have supernatural things or they do have things from like not from this world that's like it kind of is like a good mix of like reality and then like fiction, you know, which is like the reality is like, you know, him killing Nazis or crushing them or like, you know, maneuvering and falling out of a building in a certain way that's realistic. And then it's like, oh, he's going to open up a thing and then it's going to, you know, let a bunch of spirits out that kills a bunch of people, you know, or some shit. So yeah, I mean, dude, I think
right, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying like that's what the beauty of like the Indiana Jones films are, is like you don't really necessarily like know what kind of like mythical thing you're gonna get when you go into it or what they're gonna dive into really.
100%. I was gonna say this, dude. Whenever I think of that movie, so first of all, before I go, is that your pick? The Indiana Jones trilogy? Is that your pick?
Give me a little bit more time. I'll maybe think I gotta go through my brain and think about what really is the best trilogy.
You definitely are way more cultured in movies than I am, so
yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot of movies to go over in your head.
I mean, I feel like I should say like some people are gonna, you know, if I don't say like it's a classic trilogy. I mean, I think I've heard the third one is pretty bad. But what?
Okay, I would say at the end of the day, man. Yo, crew. At the end of the day, bro. First of all, anyone who literally talks shit about you, anyone listening to this podcast, bro, if you're like, yo, crew, like his sucks, like, dude, they can suck my ass.
No,
like,
I know.
No, I know. I'm just saying, it's your list. It is your opinion. You list whatever you fuck you want to, bro.
At least
straight up.
Okay, I've only seen this trilogy once, but at least the first two I remember specifically were really good. And that's the Godfather franchise, or like the trilogy or whatever.
Yes.
So it's Godfather 1 and Godfather Part 2. I still, again, like I've only seen the Godfather 3 once, and that's why I would say like I'm not entirely confident in it, but I would like it's like an honorable mention, I guess. But yeah, no, the at least the first two it's really well done, and it's really like I'm a sucker for mob movies, so like that's another reason why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really like like a mob story and shit, and I love Goodfellas. That's one of my favorite movies, so.
Wow,
it's kind of like right up the same alley in a sense.
So I'm curious. I've really only seen one like mob movie. Do you, okay, okay, I would no, I wouldn't even consider this a mob movie. I was gonna say Pulp Fiction, but that's not really a mob movie then.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, would you consider it a gangster type film then?
Yeah, it's a, I guess it could maybe be a mob movie, but it's kind of, I think it's not really disclosed what Jules and Vincent, right? What their characters are. They're kind of just like they're goons for. Oh, I guess he is a mobster. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
But okay, anyway, that was my
yeah.
point. But anyway, what I was gonna say is like, I do love Pulp Fiction. It's a great movie.
Mhm.
But what I was gonna say, like, because I have thought about trying to watch more mobster movies. Like, I'm just curious. I want to ask you, since you love them, what is it about mobster movies that really appeal to you? What is it that's gonna like, yo, I literally just fucking love this. Like, what is it about it? Because
I
I'm genuinely curious.
I mean, I think for me, it's most of the time it's like the ingenuity and the way that people can like think around like the barriers that we've put in place in a sense, like the police or
Okay.
like the FBI or um that ingenuity. And then also, I mean, I think it's sometimes you can in these stories, not always, you can have like a protagonist that's like somewhat relatable or somewhat like
Yeah.
you can kind of see yourself in them. And I think at least for me, it's like Henry Hill from Goodfellas, which is like this guy who basically is like he's not Italian, he's not Irish, or I think he was Irish actually, but he wasn't Italian, and he was trying to get into the Italian mob. And basically, if you're not Italian, like it doesn't happen, like you don't get made, is what they call it.
Like,
Um, but like he always felt like an outsider and always felt like someone that was not necessarily like welcome, even though he was like really close with everybody. And I always like think that's interesting, like the duality of like the respect, and yet it's like it's respect, it's like what is there, yeah, respect among thieves or honor among thieves, right? Like that concept is always like it's always cool to see. I don't know, in real life I think it's probably a little bit more complicated, but yeah.
I know. I mean, hey, I feel you on that 100%, bro. Because it's like, because I was just saying, because like I've thought about like, because like for example, like literally this is gonna like be crazy to our viewers, but like a lot of my movies I've never seen, bro. Like I've never seen Goodfellas. I never watched any of the Godfathers, and like I think one of the reasons for me, like one movie I want to watch this weekend, because like one of my friends at work, he's a huge movie fan as well, and he wants me to watch it, is Scarface.
Oh
So I'm going
yeah.
to watch Scarface this weekend, and I'm very excited for it because that's the whole thing where it's like, say hello to my little friend. You know
So
what I mean? So
yeah, that I mean that one's also a good one because that's a whole nother level too compared to the other, like those other two mob movies that I've kind of mentioned. Like that one's like it shows it's like someone coming into the United States, going into Miami, and basically kind of like they have this image of the American dream and they try to achieve it the way that they think that like basically kind of America has advertised themselves at that point in the 80s, which
right,
is drugs and violence and sex, so
yeah.
it's very interesting though. No, it really, and it also it's the same dude who he eventually is in Godfather, or he's like the main character in the second one and third one at least.
Okay. Yeah,
So
because no, like, yeah, because like I've heard people talk about it, and it's like I have to see it because I know it's such an iconic movie. Like, there's like people have big ass like portraits and paintings and posters of Tony Montana standing there like looking all badass and
so
shit
you
with his
even know
big
his
ass
name too.
gun.
You've never even seen it and you know his name. So
Yeah, yeah, because he's just that.
he's
It's
not
just
even
that
a real
iconic,
fucking
bro.
mobster too, which is so
Yeah.
crazy. Like it's not even like based off of reality. It's fiction. Like this is, and that's
uh,
and that's another thing too. Is like Goodfellas is based on a real story, and I think Godfather is loosely based on like real things, but like Scarface completely just showing kind of like the sign of the times and like what people really like expected from like gangsters during that time period. And like I'm sure
right.
people actually saw Scarface and then they were like, all right, that's exactly how we have to be now. Like,
Yes. No, yeah, bro. It's a fit. Yo, what are you sipping on over there, Jack?
it's an old fashioned. I
Okay,
made
cool. Hey,
myself
bro.
some. Yeah.
Little toast right here, fam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little toast right here.
Cheers.
But sorry, anyone listen to the audio, man. We just literally cheered and had the best toast ever. But what I was saying, yeah, okay, so but yeah, no, okay, so like getting back to that, so it's like literally, I I was gonna ask like, so when you were saying, yo, it's interesting. So it's like, Pulp Fiction like could be kind of like both ways then, right? Because it's like Sam Jackson and oh, what's the other guy's name? I
You got
can't think.
this. Do
John
you want me to
Travolta.
tell you?
John
Yeah,
Travolta.
it's okay.
Oh, there. God damn, I couldn't get. It's on the tip of my tongue, baby. But no, those two guys, because they play mobsters, right? And like Sam Jackson's quote, like, "What does Marcellus Wallace look like?" You know what I mean? Like iconic quotes. So it's like,
Does he
since
look
they
like
play
a bitch?
mobsters-
Sorry. I just know I know the
No,
quote
that was
so well. Like, you know, I
no, dude,
have to
that was
finish it.
lit to that was lit to throw in
Bro,
there. That
well,
was
look at the.
awesome.
I mean, I don't know. You know this, I think, right? My wallet is literally
There you go.
Jules from Pulp Fiction. So, like, yeah,
There you
that's
go, bro.
also one of
Yo,
my favorite movies. So,
bro, until I fucking literally saw that movie, I remember I was in Chicago and I saw your fucking wallet, and now I might have taken like a couple of dollars of that. You know, we'll talk about that later. But literally when I saw it, I was like, "Yo, does this wallet mean anything?" And he's like, "You're like, oh, it's from like this from a movie," and I was like, "Huh." And then I watched Pulp Fiction. I was like, "Holy shit, that's literally Jack's wallet." I was like, "No
well,
shit, bro." I was
yeah,
like, that's fucking
technically,
awesome.
it's funny enough. There's actually a story behind the wallet in the movie. They needed a wallet or something for Jules to hand over, Samuel L. Jackson's character, and
Okay.
he didn't have one. And so Quentin Tarantino was like, "Here, take mine," and that's his wallet. That's the
Yes.
wallet that he had, and like, so Quentin Tarantino just had that normally without it like being in a movie or anything, or being like, he just is like, "Yeah, no, I have this. This is my wallet." Like, like what the fuck?
Bro, that it's such a great movie. I mean, I've only seen it once, but I would totally watch it again. Like, I wonder, has Uma Thurman been in anything else besides Pulp
Oh,
Fiction? I haven't seen her. In
she's.
anything
I mean,
else.
she's in basically all of mostly every Quentin Tarantino movie like that he's done.
Oh wow, okay,
And I mean, he likes to do that though. He likes to reuse the same actors, you know, and like
right.
that's why he's always like using, you know, Samuel L. Jackson, Leonardo DiCaprio, so on. Like, dude, is it Jamie Foxx, right? I want him to use him again so bad. Like,
Oh, because he was amazing in Django.
yeah, and like he hasn't like. But what I don't know if you've seen, there's like another movie that came out after Django, which is also like a western that he made. It's called The Hateful Eight, and I was like,
I have. Well, time out. I have heard of that movie. I
mhm.
have not seen it, but I've heard it's incredible.
Yeah, no, but I was like hoping. So this is already a spoiler, but I was like, bro, I really hope Django's in that shit, bro. Like I was like waiting, like at a certain point, like I wanted to see that character again, like so bad. And then it was like, nah. But it's still a great story, and like I think he's gonna make his last movie now, and then he's gonna retire or something. But
Tarantino is?
yeah, no, he said he like wanted to make
No
10
shit.
films total in his life, and I think this is his like 10th one. And
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Okay.
so after that he like has a plan for himself and shit. Like he's gonna write books or something, or even teach about film. But like it's really weird that like he's like one of those directors that just is like, yeah, no, I'm gonna stop doing this after a certain amount of time, and everybody's like, no, I'll just keep doing it whenever, you know.
Dude, fuck it. Yo, I just rewatched that movie, man. Yo, dude, Jamie Foxx was so motherfucking badass in Django, dude. Oh my fucking god, that last scene, man. Well, not the last scene, but I mean he was badass in the last scene. But like the thing I'm thinking of is when Doctor, I think his name was Schultz, right? The German
Yep.
dentist. Right. When he shoots Leo, and then that guy blows like fucking the doctor hole, and then literally Jamie just goes on a fucking thing, and it's like, get it on, like, dude, and like they're playing music, and he's just like fucking killing everybody, bro. Like
Yeah.
that scene is so, I get goosebumps just fucking thinking about that scene, bro. That scene was so lit.
Yeah. The
Just
one
killing everybody.
one thing about Quentin Tarantino, you know, you're always gonna get is hyper violence, you know, and
Oh yeah,
like
bro, yeah.
way more blood that's in a person than would ever be, you know. Like realistically, those people would not have that much blood if you shot them like you know the way that they're getting shot, or yeah. But it's Quentin Tarantino though, you know, you gotta have lots of blood.
But he's all been known as that director to like push the boundaries and to like like add a lot of like violence and also throw a little bit of drama and comedy in there. Like
Hmm.
he's always been that type of guy. But no, Django Unchained was one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Jamie Foxx was incredible. The Doctor was so badass. Dude, I love how the Doctor. I remember when he saves Jamie Foxx and literally he's like, as for you guys, you have two options. One, you could literally go back the way you came, or you could unshackle yourselves and kill that motherfucker. The choice is yours. Ta-da!
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he was so awesome in that movie. I don't know do you know the guy who played the Doctor?
Ooh,
I don't know his fucking name though.
something. Chris, is it Christoph Waltz? It might be, I believe. Let me check. But I
Yes,
believe
I
that's
think that
his.
is who it is.
Yeah, I believe that's his name. But he generally plays a villain in most things that he's in. Um, like I saw him in, I mean, like obviously another Quentin Tarantino movie, Inglorious Bastards, and he's like a really bad villain in that. Like he's like the worst
So
of the
he's a
worst.
big Tarantino actor, basically.
Somewhat. I mean, he's only been in two of his films. I don't even think he was
Oh, okay.
in. Yeah, I'm only seeing him in Django and Inglorious Bastards.
Okay,
But
gotcha.
he was in Spectre, so James Bond. Um, and then
Okay, gotcha.
also he's like the main villain in Green Hornet. I don't know if you've seen that movie,
Ooh, dude, that is a Seth Rogen movie I've wanted to see so bad, and I have
dude.
not gotten around to seeing it.
You really haven't? Holy shit,
I have not gotten around
dude!
to
Seth
seeing it.
Rogen looks like a completely different person in that movie, though.
Oh well, I mean, I know I've seen interviews of him talking about the movie, and he literally looks completely
It
different
is
compared to what he does.
crazy. No, he
Yeah.
looks like good though. It's like it's crazy that like Seth Rogen like got down to like the peak, like he got into peak physical shape for that. And like
Like I remember he was talking about that on Conan O'Brien, and I remember literally he was like this. He's like, he said this hilarious quote. He was like, Conan's like, yo, you got really good shape for this. He's like, yeah, I feel good. If The Rock looked like this, he'd murder himself. I could tell you that. But for me, this is pretty sweet. I gotta tell you.
I
Oh,
mean,
dude. Oh,
that one is actually like low key pretty good superhero movie. I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen it, but from what I remember, and I don't know if maybe it's my kid brain hyping it up, but like it had decent special effects. Obviously like the acting and the people in it is like great. But yeah, no, I was really like I was actually really surprised that it was like as good as it was. But yeah, no, it that like those movies that like catch you by surprise are always the best, you know.
oh, they're fantastic, and like you know what I really another Seth Rogen movie I just recently, and I've seen so many of films, like I've seen Superbad, Knocked Up, The
Yeah.
Interview, Pineapple Express, Till This Is the End. Like I'm a huge Seth fan, but like what's so wild is that like some movie I just watched a couple months ago that literally I just fell in love with because the idea of it is hilarious is Paul,
Yeah, no,
where
bro.
he plays an
Yeah,
alien.
I love Paul
Oh,
too.
what a
Yeah,
great movie, dude.
dude,
Oh,
it's so. I think I maybe even showed, or like I was like, should we watch this when we were at my house? I was like, you want to watch this? It's
yeah.
like it's an alien that smokes weed, and you're like, I don't know, because it's like,
Did I
you're
really say I don't know?
yeah, because you were like, because like I don't think you
No
knew at the
shit.
time that Seth Rogen was also voicing the alien too. So it was just like this random thing, and you're like, I don't know, fucking like these two British people, what the
Wow,
fuck,
dude.
like.
Wow, dude. Well, I will say this. I highly regret that decision because that movie is lit. Like, dude, I mean, when you didn't, I guess I was just like not even thinking about it. I think it's because like literally people have told me so many good things about Knocked Up, and I didn't see Knocked Up until I was with you, and then when I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
wow, I was like,
true.
yo, I'm so happy I watched it because Knocked Up was lit. But
Yeah,
now
that's
I've
probably
watched
what we
Paul,
watched
dude.
then. Yeah. Okay, that makes
No,
sense.
no, I know that's what we
Yeah.
watched because I remember I got super high off your fucking indica, and I was like just so I got to a point where I was so high I was like not even like focused on the jokes. I was just so in like physically into the story. You know what I mean? I was kind of just more like I was like, wow, like this is what happens if you get a chick pregnant. Holy
Yep.
shit, I gotta just keep fucking watching, bro.
Take
I'm
notes.
intrigued right now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But no, yeah, fucking Paul, bro, hilarious. I mean, just the idea of it, where like an alien who gets drunk and smokes weed and literally goes like,
Yeah.
literally is a hilarious fucking. It's so awesome, bro. Great fucking movie. Great
Yeah.
fucking movie.
I mean, yeah, no, that movie is really funny, and like again, it's like that one is unexpected too. But funny enough, I actually kind of knew that was gonna be good because I watched those two guys that are in it, those like British comedians or whatever. Like they
Okay.
actually do like work together, and they have like or they've made movies in the past. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Shaun of the Dead is one of them, where
I
it's
have
like
not.
it's like a more like funnier take on like a horror like aspect, which is like, you know, Shaun of the Dead, aka Dawn of the Dead or whatever, you know, zombies and shit. Um, but like their troupe or whatever, their like comedy troupe is really funny. They made other movies too, but that like Paul is like technically their like fourth movie out of the trilogy that they have. But like
Okay.
it's like technically not really because it's like, I don't know, Universal or something. It's like it's not a English company that made it. It's an American company, but it's technically like
Right.
the same vein, you know, where it's just like two guys, they fuck around and then they get into something, and that's usually like most of their stories is just like those two guys that you saw in it, the fat guy and the skinny guy, and they just like get into some shit like robots, zombies, aliens, whatever. Like it's
Wow, that
pretty
actually
funny.
sounds lit.
Yeah.
Okay, so dude, I now have to ask this. We talked about several things. You know, Seth Rogen. We obviously both love Seth, and you've seen all of his movies. I haven't gotten quite there yet,
Mm.
but so what is your favorite Seth movie? Seth Rogen
Ooh,
movie.
my favorite Seth Rogen movie, bro. I mean, technically it is a Seth Rogen movie, but he's not really in it. But like super bad, bro. Like it like I guess he is
Well,
in
no,
it
he's
too.
in it.
Yeah, he's in it, but like he's not like the main character, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, but like,
him and Evan did write it, you know? So like I technically
yes,
like it is like you know, it is a Seth Rogen film. Uh
dude. Okay, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, yo, my favorite quote is in that movie. I love it. I mean, not a quote, but like just a bit. It's so fucking good because you know how he's fucking like McLovin from Hawaii. So
yeah.
it's like that one bit, dude, where he's in the fucking liquor store and he goes like, Seth is like, so I need to see your ID, and he's like, and like, what's your name? The guy's like, McLovin. I know, but what's your last name? Like, I don't have a last name. Wait, so it's just McLovin? And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's fucking badass.
Oh my god. No, I know. I mean, yeah, dude, like literally obvious
Oh,
like that is like one of the best scenes, like, you know, and like
oh,
that's
dude,
why,
I remember I was crying.
yeah,
Oh,
that's why if you see that movie for the first time, like you just remember like mostly every scene because it's like they're that
oh
funny and
yeah,
it's that like you just remember everything, you know. Um,
yes.
but like so super bad is up there. I don't know. I mean, I think, but what's it called? The one the interview. I really like the
I,
interview.
dude, that was just what I was about to say. I didn't want to cut you off and be a dick again, but like I was literally about to just say the interview, bro. The
Mm-hmm.
interview was incredible. Him and Jane. I would say the top. They're like I would
James
say a
Franco.
big like trio is Seth, James Franco, and Jonah Hill. Those three guys, dude. They should do more movies together because those three guys are incredible
Well,
together. They're so
actually,
funny.
I've heard from like Seth Rogen gave an interview that like him and James aren't technically like working together anymore, or they're not like talking. So
Really?
yeah, no.
Why?
Apparently, like I think James was talking to some underage girls on Instagram, and people found out,
Uh,
and yeah, Seth was like not having any of it. He was just like, yeah, nah, like I
yeah,
don't fuck
dude.
around with
Like
that.
he likes to do drugs and do crazy shit, but at the end of the day, he's definitely a married working man
Well, he's
for
a bit,
sure.
yeah, no, he is a businessman too, you know, and even though his
Yeah,
image is like smoking weed, if it's anything more than that, you know, or if it's anything more than comedy, like, bro, he does not want any part of it, you know. He's very like he knows what he wants, he knows how he wants himself to be presented. Uh
like yes, like I mean, people like because it's like people who are like for my dad, for example, he's very against like get weed being like legalized and stuff like that. He's just a hardcore conservative. But it's like, dude, literally, I have literally heard people, I've heard people, other people talk about it. I've heard people in interviews, everything like that. Like, dude, Seth literally, he not only works his ass off, but and he smokes a lot of weed. But it's like, dude, literally and clearly he can work, be successful, and smoke weed all day. I mean, he's worth like 100 fucking million, and he's like one of the most like
Yeah.
well-known comedic actors like ever. You know what I mean? So like, he's up there. He's as far as like well-known, he's up there with like like Steve Carell and like I don't know. You could probably make the argument he's up there with like Will Ferrell and stuff like that too. Like
Yeah.
he's you know what I mean?
Some could even say that he's probably greater than Will Ferrell, but
Would you say that?
I wouldn't say that. But I would say some people would
Yeah,
probably
I don't
say
think I go that far, but
no.
I will say he's you know what though? I will say this. I have seen more Seth movies than I have Will Ferrell movies. I will say that though.
Yeah, but I think Will Ferrell, regardless of what Will Ferrell does, like Seth can sometimes be funny and sometimes like sell his shit. But Will Ferrell, regardless, he just like he'll kill it in whatever thing he's in. He'll find a way. I don't know.
Like, I mean, dude, people literally consider Elf the best Christmas movie ever, and I probably would consider the best Christmas movie of all time. I think it's the GOAT Christmas movie, straight up.
Hey, same
what I
dude
mean?
that brought us Iron Man. Both great gifts. That's all we need.
Exactly. Dude, I didn't think about this, bro. I didn't even think about that, man. I think like the whole like what is the best movie trilogy. I think I might have to throw Iron Man in there as well, bro.
Oh
I didn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
think about that.
There's
I
that's
totally
right.
Forgot about Iron Man. Wow.
Well, then if you do that,
So
you
Iron
got to
Man's
think
in
about the
there.
Spider-Man one then.
Yes, I do, bro. I do. Cause I mean, hey, even though I know you're like, I know you think that I'm fucking like on that bitch ass crack cocaine for thinking that I like Tom Holland better than Toby, but I will say I did grow up watching Toby and like the first three, man. Especially when you see him fight Venom for the first time is so fucking incredible, dude. Like
Yeah,
those three movies, I will say this, I do prefer Tom better. But that being said, Toby is still an incredible fucking Spider-Man. No doubt.
yeah. I mean, I think to be honest, like if you were counting the next whatever Spider-Man, the Tom Holland's trilogy as a trilogy, it'd be kind of weak, no lie. Like, because there's a lot of shit that happens in between the other movies. There's a lot of shit that happens like in other stories for that Spider-Man. So it's very hard to like look at it from a full like movie to movie story and like see where the character has really changed from film to film, because he's doing that in the sidelines in two other movies or something, or but yeah, no, the Toby one definitely up there. I think the third one is the most rough for me, I would say. It's not bad, but there's just
dude, I love the third one, bro.
it has good, like the thing is it has good aspects and like really good parts too, but like they're just like when he's emo and like moody, bro, there's just parts where it's just cringe, and it's like it really does kill the vibe of the movie. And it like, yeah, I mean, and some people I know were so mad that like Harry sacrifices himself the way that he does and stuff, and like but I'm not one of those people. I think it was fine the way that they did it. I think it was fine because it was like also gonna be the last one that they were gonna do, supposedly. And then yeah, no, I mean, I did hear that.
Would you say that Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies are worse than Andrew Garfield's movies?
Probably not. I would say, because I think even though Andrew Garfield's like the third Spider-Man movie of Tobey's, it has like good points in it and good scenes and things. I think that at least in the second one, it's just really all over the place and really like doesn't know where it's going and shit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it can't really compare, it really feels like there were too many cooks in the kitchen when they were trying to make that movie.
Right. And it's like literally like also it's like, it's same thing with like cooking something. It's like you don't want to take it out of the oven too soon. It's like when they took it out, it's like the inside was still a little mushy, you know what I'm saying? Like it just wasn't that good. And I use this argument all the time, bro. I literally say this all the time. I didn't want to say it to anyone because I know we had Zombie on the podcast and he's the shit. But I don't want to say this, bro. But I always use this argument because one of my homeboys at work thinks that Andrew Garfield's the best Spider-Man. I say this, bro. Like literally, that dude has 2 movies for a reason, and both other guys have at least 3. Like there's a reason that he only has 2 movies.
I don't even think it's I don't even say that it's his fault though, it's the studio and it's like Sony not knowing what to do with the character. And that's really what it came down to, and that's why the second movie was so fucking bad, is because they were like, let's throw in 5 villains at him. No Electro, no Green Goblin, no Rhino, no
Right.
Gwen Stacy's
But I
dead.
mean,
Like,
they did that in No Way Home as well. They threw like every fucking villain
yeah,
ever
but
at
like
them.
the way that they did it, obviously you have all the context of the other movies, you know, and it's hard to just throw
True.
characters in unless, again, but then it has been, the way that you do it is really that it's about the execution, right? Like if you look at Guardians of the Galaxy or some shit, right? Like you look at that, the first movie, and you're like, this will never work. A fucking talking raccoon, a giant ass tree, some motherfucker who's bald and can't and takes everything literally, a green chick and some white dude from Earth. Like
Yeah.
why would that work? Why would that, like, on a comic book, yeah, it looks cool cuz like, you know, but like
Right.
how the fuck do you make that work on a in a movie, on a
Oh yeah.
screen, like in a on a script even, like there's a lot of shit that goes into it, and it's like, so take that and then look at it like, you know, something like the Spider-Man movie where they're like, all right, we want to have all these villains in it, but we don't know how to put them in, and they're like, all right, just write that in, no, write this
Oh
in,
yeah.
right? And then it becomes what it is, and that's why I think also technically, like the, I guess, whatever, the third Spider-Man for Tom Holland's movie is technically the third for Andrew Garfield's, because you do get some closure for his character and you get some development, which do make it a little bit better for his character. And like he did
Right.
save like Mary Jane and all that shit, and like and that's like another thing. If you never watched those movies, you would have never got those details. And that's like,
Oh yeah.
you know, that's the same for like, you know, any of those, any of the, if you watch an Avengers movie now without like watching any other shit, you know, you won't, sometimes you will know, sometimes you won't, but yeah, no, it makes it really, they have done a good job with like tying everything together though in that third movie, I guess, with Tom Holland's shit.
Well, on that whole Spider-Man thing, yo, Jack, you like zoned out right there, bro. You just like we're talking there for good, almost like 10 minutes. I was just like watching in like amazement. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I you
No,
know me, I
I
know
know. Hey,
Spider-Man.
yeah, I was like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we all, you, if you been following this podcast for a while, you know that Jack is the biggest Spider-Man fan, bro. I'm curious, what is it about Spider-Man that appeals to you so much? Like, what was it when you saw it, you're like, yo, this guy is just so incredible? Like, is it the fact that he can climb on walls? Is it the fact that he just like swings from building to building? Like, what is it about Spider-Man that appeals to you so much?
Well, I think it's I'll do a quote that like Stan Lee said. I think he learned later with the character being created like unintentionally by putting a mask on him. You know, he doesn't, you could see yourself underneath the mask. You could see,
Right.
anybody could see themselves being Spider-Man, you know. It didn't matter what color his skin was. Like he was literally one of the first characters to not even show an inch of his skin wherever, like, you know, on his costume. So you didn't know
That's true.
what his race was, you know. You didn't know what he looked like. You didn't know what kind of, like, you just knew that he was Spider-Man. And like
Yeah.
that's
From
like
the neighborhood
one of
Spider-Man.
the, and that's also like, I fuck with like Into the Spider-Verse and stuff. That's like a big thing about
Oh
that
yeah.
movie too, you know. We all have a little bit of like Spider-Man in us and all that shit. So yeah, no, it really is just a motivational thing. I feel like it's a great story. He deals with like so much trauma in a sense, and he still finds a way
Right.
to be positive, to be, you know, help people, to help others around him, you know. But yeah, no, and he's cool, bro. He's fucking kicks ass, and he fucking makes jokes and shit, and he
Yeah.
swings, bro. Like that's always been a cool thing too. I think, especially with
Swinging all the way across New
yeah,
York and
with
shit. Yeah.
Toby's Spider-Man, especially like growing up, like right when that came out and seeing that as a kid, and really like being able to, like, for the first time for everybody too, especially not just like, you know, kids, like everybody seeing like what Spider-Man should really look like when swinging through New York City. And that, like, that kind of like
Yes.
infatuates you, you know. You really want to, like, you know, it's probably never even possible to do that, but still, like, the idea of it, you know. And that's why I also like the video game so much, is because you literally can just fucking swing around and be like
Right.
Spider-Man. But yeah.
Cause like I would say this, like, cause my two favorite all time Marvel characters are, I'm a giant Thor fan, and then I'm an Iron Man fan.
Ooh, okay.
And the reason why I would say Thor is, like, I mean, pretty much you think about it, like when you really, if you broke down like what Thor is to a regular person and they never heard of it before, it would sound extremely corny as fuck. Like, oh, some dude who comes down from some place named Asgard, and literally he's got the coolest fucking little hammer you ever seen in your life, and like literally he just like shoots lightning at with a hammer and literally just hits people with a hammer. You would think that it like that's just like, oh, dude, a hammer, that's kind of weird. But when you watch him on screen, you're like, yo, this is the most badass shit I've ever seen in my entire life. And
Yeah.
then like literally, I think the reason why I love Iron Man so much is because like to me he's just, and also like I think he's up there with debatably the smartest superheroes maybe ever. Like, the fact that literally the thing about he built his whole suit all by hand, and he built a suit that can compete with the Hulk, literally one of the strongest beings to ever exist.
Mm.
And the fact that literally like that he proves that technology can compete with some of like the most powerful things in all of the universe and all of comic book history, like that to me is just already like instant, like that's just so badass to me. I just think that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like just a regular dude, just literally like super smart, built it all from scratch, and now literally is like one of the biggest and well-known superheroes ever. So,
Yeah. No, I think well, Iron Man is a really interesting character.
yeah.
Considering he starts off as like a narcissist, like, alcoholic. I don't know if they
Genius,
and
billionaire,
and
playboy,
well,
all that
in
stuff.
the movies, I don't think they even show it as much, but in the comics, bro, he's like a full-blown alcoholic, and there's like certain points where he's
Really?
like flying around. I mean, I think they do actually. There's a point in the second one where he's drunk as
Yeah, you're
fuck,
right. You're right. Right. Yeah, and
and
he fights that one like general dude.
he
Yeah, yeah,
fights
yeah.
is it
War Machine.
Brody? Yeah, Brody. Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't think it's because Brody's the guy with the metal arm.
No, that's Bucky.
Bucky. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so
Yeah.
is the War Machine actually Brody then? That's his name.
Let me check. I'm pretty sure.
Do some behind the scenes, literally over the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. But you're right. You're right. That is Bucky. That is Bucky with the metal arm. You're right.
He calls him Rhodey. Sorry, not Brody.
Brody. Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah. Rhodes is James Rose is his name in the
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, Rhodey. Yeah. Okay. Y-
We solved that mystery, ladies and gentlemen.
no, but yeah, no. There. So like, with that, it's really interesting. I think to see like, especially how we like see him in Endgame too. He like can make the decision to sacrifice himself and shit, and
Right.
he's made, he's done this literal change, from this person that's
Yeah.
like obsessed with himself, and now he's actually caring about others and putting his technology for good, and rather than like, for the bad, which is what he started off doing.
I always had this question, man, and maybe because like you know way more about this stuff than I would. Maybe you can answer it for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to pick up Mjolnir, aka Thor's hammer, you have to be worthy and be like 100% willing to give your life for others, correct? Um, if that's how it is, but like only Thor, and in the movies only Thor and Cap can pick it up. Like if they're all fighting to defend and save the universe and bring back and save trillions, how come every single character can't pick up Thor's
So
hammer?
yeah, this is you're going into also because like just because like Thor's also a he's like a Nordic mythology character, right? It
Okay.
also goes into just like because he is that it goes into like the magical aspects of that, and like what what is the definition of worthiness, like who is like qualified for
Right.
what. But I think it's not really like willing to lay down your life for others, but I think it's like pure of heart, and like you're true, like you can only pick up the hammer if your intentions are true, and that like what you're doing is for the greater good. I don't know, like it really is kind of iffy, and that's like also when it comes to like
Yeah.
how powerful is Hulk. It's the same shit. It really varies from story to
Right.
story. And yeah, no, it is a good question. Like, why couldn't Cap or why couldn't any of the other Avengers
Well,
pick up?
obviously Cap can. Obviously
Oh,
Captain
sorry,
America
not
can.
Cap. Sorry, I meant to say Iron Man. But
Because
yeah,
you think about it, if Iron Man willing is to grab that gem and be like, I am Iron Man, pew! Like if he's willing to save his life for everyone else and he's willing to die, like I would consider that pure of heart, no doubt.
yeah. I
Right?
mean, well, it Yeah, again, but then maybe Mjolnir's a sin counter though or something. I don't know. Maybe it like it knows
Yeah.
how many times you've done something bad, or I don't know. And like I dude, it really, I don't know too much about
I just thought
Mjolnir.
I'd throw that question out
Yeah,
there.
no,
That's
it
all.
is a good question though. I mean, and they, at least like when it was destroyed too, Hela was able to stop it though, and technically she wasn't
That's true,
worthy
bro. Yeah.
technically, right? But like she at some point I guess wielded it. um, so the maybe the rules change, maybe the worthiness of the hammer changes. Maybe because like I think it was living before it was destroyed, so somewhat at least, or it
Right.
had like he would talk to it and it would have like some sort of personality, or he acted like it did at least. But
Dude, that was one thing that was so just weird about Love and Thunder, bro. How his like love and hate relationship with Mjolnir and with Stormbreaker. I was like, dude, this is he was like, hey, we're just talking, we're just friends. Like that I was to me that was like kind of why did we have to throw that in there? Like I don't know.
because they were trying to make it, again, that's what they did wrong with that movie. They were trying to make it too jokey when they needed
Yeah.
more of a serious tone, I think.
But the thing is, though, I think Ragnarok was jokey. Like, it's a friend from work. Like, I think Ragnarok was jokey, but it still worked out great. He
It
was
was
still like whooping everybody's
it was
ass.
jokey, and I think it, but then again at certain points it like it knew when to take itself seriously. It knew, like, I think with Love and Thunder they just didn't like understand, like, okay, this is when we should end the joke, like
Uh,
maybe we shouldn't have our
Try not too long.
main
Yeah.
villain making a joke or something. Maybe we shouldn't have like, our, maybe we, I don't know, they like it turned into, it felt like Ant-Man or something. It didn't feel like a, like, even like Ragnarok though, it wasn't the same kind of humor that was in Ragnarok. I feel like it may, and even though it was probably written by the same people, I don't fucking know, but yeah,
You would assume it would, right? It'd be written by the exact same people. It's like
hopefully.
it's still a franchise, I would say. I'm not gonna lie, like, excuse me, COVID-19. But like, what's so weird to me is that like, I think this is just my personal take. I think they were like to me they were just a little lazy on how Natalie Portman was able to get his powers. Like how Thor was just like to Heimer's like, I want you to
If
protect her
you
at all
so
costs.
if you have a problem with
Like,
that, you should take it up with the comics then, because that's how she gets it in the comics. So yeah,
is it really?
yeah. No, I mean it's a
I mean, how
very.
about you? Did you think that was a little lazy, or do you think that was like
I
you're just
mean,
what is what
it,
it is?
dude. Again, what makes, who makes what worthy? Who makes like why, like, uh the logic is not like either. I don't even think it's necessarily even understood by the writers, because it sometimes is just for plot convenience. Like I said, like
Yeah,
it really doesn't make sense unless it's just to move the story along, um
right.
and to like
And that
obvious.
might have been what it was, just to move the
Yeah,
story along.
and like, you'll see a lot of that though. Like you'll see, like, once, I don't know if I point that out to you, you'll see a lot of things like not making sense, or not, like, maybe they'll be quicker than they actually are, or things will feel like
Right.
it's like things have been cut, because that's just also like with the short amount of time of a movie, you need to move the story along as quickly as you can. You can't be
True.
dragging and trying to
That's true.
explain too much, or and then that also is again where you can lose people though, because it is so confusing, and it is so like, if they're not able to kind of turn their brains off and understand the story, kind of like suspend their disbelief in a sense, you won't be able to get your story across,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so now before we sign off, I want to ask this, man. So do you think so okay, is I don't know who would play him. I'm just asking this as a character. Is Iron Man actually coming back? Is that confirmed or is it like totally like he's not coming back?
If he's coming back, it would not be Robert Downey Jr. It would be a variant
It's
of
a
the character.
confirmed. It's not going to be not going to be Robert.
I mean,
Confirmed.
I, unless something changes and they like offer him, like, I don't know, $100 million or something, like, he will not come back for anything. He's what he said. So like he said he's done. Like he
Right.
wants to take a break. He wants to, like, I think he's got a family now. He's got kids. He wants to focus on them and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like the whole Iron Man character, I mean, dude, like with as shown in Endgame, like they can time travel now. So it's like now, like to bring Iron Man back, like what they could just do some Endgame type shit and just literally go
Yeah.
back in time, bring him back, and then literally have him fight in the new Kang Dynasty movie or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so yeah, again, they could do that, but again, it's a question of, well, now too, who's gonna be? What are they gonna do about Kang? What are they gonna do about all that shit? Like, what's going on with that? To be,
Or I wonder also if they go back in time and they bring Robert Downey Jr. back, will that make Thanos come back to life?
yeah. See, with the so you when you bring people back, you get a lot of you get a lot of plot holes. You get a lot of things that
Yeah.
like issues that pop up. You know, like because yeah. Unless it serves like it's just like the Star Wars thing in Marvel, right? Unless it serves like an actual purpose where it's like we need Robert Downey Jr. back for this exact point, for this moment, for this thing. He's not. It's not like he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm coming back and I'm gonna sign on for another 10 years because that's what they want me for.
Right.
Because that's what they're gonna try and do. If they're gonna get him back for one movie, they're gonna keep trying to get him back for more, you know, and they're gonna like
That's true.
yeah, like they're just it never is just one with Marvel. They're always gonna like,
Right.
you know, keep adding on. You know, you do this Avengers movie and then you got to do the sixth Captain America movie, or you got to do this Spider-Man movie, or yeah. So
So if you think at a certain point we'll end up seeing like Avengers like 39 or something like that.
Maybe. I mean, dude, it's technically we're already on like the 23rd or something movie of the MCU, so like it's not that far, like or it's not that crazy to think about. But yeah, I mean, dude, I'm always down for the ride. I'm always, you know, I'm a big nerd. I always
Yeah.
follow that shit. You know, I've watched like everything when it comes to Marvel and Star Wars and stuff. So if they keep putting it out there, I'm going to keep watching it, you know.
Right. Do you think? Okay, here's the real question though. Okay, just one more thing because we're really getting into this nerd conversation right now, boy. So it's like, yo, I want to know. Do you think they'll actually? Speaking of Star Wars, do you think is there a rumor for? Is there any like rumor for a 10th movie?
So far as what I've heard is it's up in the air, but like they're not even really focused on that right now. They're focused on their shows and what they're doing, like with the
Yeah, like
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they've got like another show, Ahsoka, coming out, and they've got they might apparently do a second season of Obi-Wan that's up in the air. Or
Oh, dude, yes.
yeah, I
Yes.
mean, even
Let's
McGregor
go.
said he would be down. So if Disney's down, you know, that's all that
Wow,
matters.
dude. Cause yo, that show was so lit. Oh, that show was so fire.
Yeah,
Dude, the end scene where like Obi-Wan is like using all the force to throw all these like rocks on Vader, like oh, the last episode was so incredible.
oh,
Like
dude,
I
yeah.
would love to see a second season of that show. Sorry. Because I think there's still way more to tell. Because it's still like a huge, giant like span until Luke Skywalker becomes, you know, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, so that would actually, if they fleshed out that story, which I think they're probably going to do in Ahsoka, because you probably, I don't think you didn't ever watch the Book of Boba Fett, right?
No.
Yeah, so they with that show they flesh out where because we see like Grogu and Luke practicing and stuff, and then we see Ahsoka and them together, so like they really flesh out like a little bit of what is going on before Luke goes to where he's at in like the 7th movie and shit. But yeah, no, I think in the Ahsoka show they definitely flesh it out more.
Oh, okay, got you. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, yo, we're gonna sign off right there, but that was a great conversation. As
Yeah.
always, yo, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, go on Spotify, follow us on Spotify, hit both the bells, man, so you don't miss any future notifications, baby. And yo, we will of course see you guys in the next one.